Channel and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to this version of Shortcuts for Your Soul. And what really fascinates me about today is we have this group called the Divine Council of Light, and they're coming in, and the subject is on what comes. And I asked them, what do they mean by the term what comes? And they said, it's what comes as a result of what we do individually and what we do as a species. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. Good morning. We're just going to, if you have a moment, please take some time to share this video out to anybody that you think might benefit from it, or any groups that you think might need to hear what's going to be said today. Yeah, good morning. Just going over here. Just imagine that you could manifest anything you want in your life. Anything. This is what comes. When you understand this, you start to have freedom. But most people are bound by what they think they know. As a result, people only get what they think they know, and very few actually get to create what they desire. One of our reasons for coming here today is to illustrate for you that it is within your power to create what comes into your life. You do not have to be subjective to the ebbs and flows of the world around you, nor do you need to be in fear or doubt of what you see in the world around you. You are in the perfect position to deliberately and intentionally create exactly what you wish in your life, albeit you will find some resistance to what you want to create because of the resistance you have inside, the believability, the attachment to what you need to experience on a level of energy and emotion. Our goal in coming through this one today is to impress upon you that it is within you to know and decide what comes in your life. And I'm really excited about this, guys. Thank you. Yep. I'm excited because it really is in our power to create what is coming into our lives in the form of health, wealth, emotional well-being. These are so central to what we all need. You know, when we have emotional balance, we tend to have balance in the world around us. When there's chaos within us, there's chaos around us. And so when you question why political leaders and social systems are evolving the way they are, it's because those that are generating the systems are in a state of confusion themselves. And so we need to also have compassion for those who are making errors in judgment, making errors in leadership, for they are simply operating from what they do not know as equally as they're functioning from what they do know. But what comes is exclusively up to you. And we want you to get to this awareness very simply today, that what comes, you have choice over what shall come for you and in your life. So what there's, again, the Divine Council of Light is literally a collection of beings from many different star systems and several different dimensions that have decided to pool their energy and knowledge and wisdom to download a lot of this to human collective unconsciousness during this time of ascension. It is not a single individual. It is a massive number of individuals, both human and non-human, physical and non-physical, that are engaged in this vast and massive ascension process that is about what is the greatest awakening in human collective unconsciousness, where we can liberate ourselves, literally liberate ourselves from the suffering. Yeah, they're very clear. It's you need to understand the value and power of your thought and your emotion. You must also understand the value and power of exploring, understanding, and gaining knowledge of what you already have acquired that may be interfering what you desire. What you desire in your mind, in your world that you see and smell and hear and touch and taste, often differs from what you have hidden in your mind from before. that you carry around with you, like a divine filtration system, but that does not work very well for you, it's important to understand that you must organize what you do not know to be a reflection of what you desire to aspire your life to be. This is important, but it is within you to determine what comes into your life and what will go from your life. It is in you and is always in you to determine this deliberately, intelligently, mindfully, peacefully, joyfully. And you get to do it while working in a set of rules that may conflict with the limitless potential that is what you are. You are living in a system based on limits of time, space, and matter that conflict with your true nature. Your true nature does not have the restrictions that your mind and body have in them. And yet it is up to you exclusively to remake and reshape this matter into the image and likeness, fully, consciously, of what it is you wish life to be, what you wish to come into your moments, into your life, into your future, into your present. You can only make these changes from where you are, although there are ways in which you can move your limitless self outside of the body-mind and orchestrate changes within it. And you can even move your awareness into different points of time and space on this dimension and alter what was before and what will come after. This you have choice over from the perspective of your limitless awareness, and your limitless awareness knows this. It is why you find yourself seeking answers and information, although you seek it from outside of yourself, because inside of yourself, you don't have those answers, though you know they exist. And so you seek to find them outside of yourself, but you must still validate the information and ideas you acquire from outside to a position of provability where you begin to understand that the information you are getting actually serves to function in your creative process effectively. For you are using information, both internal and external, to comprehend a creative process that you yourself effect all the time, whether you are aware of it or not. Our goal today is to get you to this place, even vibrationally, to leverage, to enhance, to improve, to expand your capability to be deliberately in the creative posturing where you are choosing in each moment, in each time, your thought, your emotion, and your action, and that you are able to supersede any thought, emotion, or action that is not of your conscious choosing. Many of you are finding yourself in a reactionary process, and this can be very difficult to be in a reactionary process. It inhibits and impairs your ability to cognitively organize yourself in such a fashion so that your vehicle will allow you to create through it what you want to create through it. Being conscious and aware in this moment allows you to make choice. To get trapped in reactionary processes from outside you restricts and inhibits your choice and also what will come into your life. You've heard us say, for those of you that have encountered us before, you have heard us say that you can live a life that is in this delicious present moment, and you can live a life that is a past present, which is the rememberings of your past reimposed upon the present now. And you can live a future past where you concern yourself about the future based on your past and find yourself getting to a future that you already expected to be there because of what you remember. And so you recreate a past future. And you cannot change a past present or a past future from within it. You can only change either from this moment to become conscious that this thought, this idea, this memory would not serve me to create a future that I would desire. It is important you understand that it is only in this moment And so many of you seek to resolve problems before they happen because you've created a future past that you know you have to be prepared to solve. But in this present moment, if you are persistent enough and patient enough, you will find yourself beginning to identify thoughts and emotions that you know will not serve you in the delight of your creation. You become aware of the thoughts and emotions like fear and anger and sadness and guilt and shame that will not serve you in the delight of your creation. But know that your emotions are quite simply the resource you have from your creative intelligence that you use to manifest changes in matter, time, and space. And you have heard this come through this one many times, but it cannot be said enough times until everyone has heard. Everyone must hear in order to hear, and everyone must see in order to see. But how often in your pursuit of freedom do you find yourself questioning thoughts and questioning emotions, knowing full well that the moment you have a thought, that thought is not who you are. The moment you have an emotion and you're aware of it, that emotion is not who you are. It is energy. You must understand the distinction between the energy that you use and the body that you live in. They're very different. Although the body constitutes a form of energy at a lower vibrational frequency so as to be perceptible to your senses as real in this dimensional reality, but that the substance, the non-physical energy, what you call emotion, is responsible for organizing the conditions of matter that you find yourself experiencing. Many of you, including great civilizations, have historically repeated the same thing over and over again: the rise and fall of civilizations, the transformation of this planet, the literal erasure of entire cultures that span this whole globe, simply because there was a lack of understanding of how this process of utilizing emotional energy works, not only on the level of the individual, but on the level of your entire species. Collectively, you create this dance together. You agree and you disagree on certain things. You feel and you don't feel certain ways. And these things cause manifestation in time and space and matter. And it is important you understand this, for until you seize the awareness of the present and you seize the thoughts and emotions and recognize and identify which will serve you, which will not serve you, which expands you, which frees you, until you can make the choice and distinction between those two, you will collectively and individually continue to repeat the same thing over and over again. And your suffering is because you are doing this. All suffering is a result of repeating the same thing over again that was unnecessary. You did not learn, you did not understand certain functions of matter and thought from the perspective of your awareness, which is not limited to body, which is not limited to emotional, but able to direct both. When you understand this, the process of liberation begins to become an opportunity that is conscious. Now you enter the game of life in the present moment, saying, this thought, this anger, this will not create that which I want to delight myself in being in this world. And when that process is consciously directed, what thought, what action, what emotion will create a delightful experience in my being in this material world? For you are simply experiencing the effects of your causes in this physical realm. These are all effects of causes, effects of energy organized deliberately by the intelligence that you are. And most of you find yourself seeking to find the intelligence that will solve the problems that you find yourself having, when you are the very solver of the problems that you're having, but not understanding what you are as an awareness, and not being able to make a distinction between your thoughts, your emotions, disempowers you from being able to deliberately and intentionally create what you would will to create. Although you all know, I know I can do this. I know I can create this, but I can't. It doesn't seem to happen. And it isn't because there's something wrong with you. It's because you do not understand the functionality of these elements of thought an emotion that you use through matter, you use through your body. When you understand their function and change the function deliberately, which changes the form of the function, then the result is different. The result is different. Excuse me. So my guardian angel, John, first brought this concept up to me almost 2 years ago now, the idea that emotion is the fifth state of energy. Emotion is the fifth state of energy. And it organizes all matter. Emotion organizes all matter. Thought can affect the way that emotion organizes itself. But ultimately, he said, emotion organizes all matter. What they were just saying about, yes, I'm laughing because our civilizations, and I say civilizations because science in this day and age has realized there's been the Mayans, the Toltecs, the Aztecs. They've now realized there have been societies that were based in different types of energy, different types of pyramidal structures all over the planet. They can see that different global tech societies existed. And what they've been telling me is that the reason these societies have fallen is because literally the planet, that they've turned their life upside down, literally. On an emotional level, the societies, the leadership in society gets so detached from its creative influence over the masses that it creates a separation between the mind and the body of humanity. As a result, the emotional energies of the masses have often gotten more tilted towards the negative, and as a result, it creates massive changes in the electromagnetic relationship between human consciousness and the environmental consciousness, including the electromagnetic field of the planet. And when John articulated that for me, it was like, that makes perfect sense. You know, if I don't know if you have a dog or a cat, but if you yell at your dog or you yell at your cat, they'll react, right? When we're in a state of fear as individuals or anger as a collective, the sum total of that electrical field interacts and interplays with the electromagnetic energy that surrounds us on this planet. We literally electromagnetically can alter the what's called the magnetic fields of the planet. Some people call it the global electric circuit, but our emotional energy, which science is not quite able to measure yet, there's a couple of beings on the planet that are master teachers that are beginning to develop the technology to show how emotional fields affect time, space, and matter. But we are at this place again where the dominant emotional energy on the planet is swung towards fear, and it alters things electromagnetically, not only in your own body, and this has been scientifically proven again and again and again. Back in the 60s when they started biofeedback, Pavlov, when he started doing the dogs, showed that certain things that affected us emotionally would alter physiology. And we need to understand, especially the light worker community, that the emotional qualities that yourself or others around you hold on to affect matter. And we are, as a collective species, affecting the poles. And Jamal Ipsiku, who's a being that came through many, many years ago, came a couple years ago, he came through and he said to me, 72,000 years ago was the first great fall of human collective societies. There were collective societies that had lived for hundreds of thousands of years and thrived very well on this planet before they went down to that. But for the last 72,000 years, we've been in a very intense, destructive, repeating pattern of negative emotion, which is why Atlantis and Mu and other great empires, the Egyptian Empire, why many of these places fell and failed, because of the emotional energy that the dominant collective had gotten caught up in. And so I encourage you, based on what I've been told, and that we all need to do this. I mean, I'm not perfect, right? I'm still working on myself too, but we need to get to a place collectively, consciously, and the leaders need to understand this. When they don't understand this, they don't realize what the energy of emotion does. They're just caught in their own realities, and most people are stuck in their own heads and not aware of how emotion affects matter, time, and space, although evidence is now proving that. So we need to collectively get ourselves to a place where we are not in agreement with things that are based in fear. If we go into a place of agreeing, and by agreement I mean the way we act, the way we speak, if it is an agreement to a fearful energy or an angry energy or a doubtful energy or a terrified energy, it's going to create very specific results in time, space, and matter, as will joy and love and excitement and playfulness and curiosity will create a different emotional outcome in time, space, and matter. And you can go on you can do the research on the movement of the Earth's magnetic poles, and it's been in the last about 130 years that the large movement in the magnetic poles has begun, and it's begun to increase over the last 100 to 130 years. The movement has begun to increase, and what has changed? What has really changed? Well, we've developed technologies that allow us to communicate thoughts and emotions directly to each other to a larger section of the population. A larger segment of the population can now get information, ideas, and emotional conceptions from others. So more people are now involved through technology in being aligned to certain emotional paradigms. Yes, yes. They're saying these emotional paradigms are effects of misunderstandings of the effects of emotional energy. Those of you that are deliberately choosing this path of what we would call love, a path of awareness, a path of compassion, you are the brakes, so to speak, on this movement. But if the brakes aren't strong enough or are not powerful enough, then you will have a collision. It is important that you understand on a broader scale as a species that what you are collectively feeling is literally organizing the conditions that you experience in this physical world. And you may be told to think and feel and believe that you do not have a relationship to these things that you call earthquakes or volcanic activities or the movements in oceans or the changes in climate. You may be told that you have no relationship to it, but you do. Not so much in your manufacturing, in your creative process, but in your emotional process. It is in your emotional process that you are reorchestrating and reorganizing the conditions of your environmental conditions. You are reorganizing them with your emotional fields collectively. And this is where education needs to turn its eye, that the conditions of thought and emotion are inseparable from the conditions of material experience. And until you have that awareness, until everyone understands this process, and you have people that are in positions to lead you intelligently and lovingly, kindly and compassionately, fearlessly, we would say, fearlessly they must lead you. They cannot lead you in fear and expect to find love at the end of that path. But if they lead you in love, you will find love at the end of that path. But you cannot expect to lead with fear and find love. Yes, thank you. So, what comes and what is coming is not based on how we do things in the world, but it's how we feel things in the world. Because what we do in the world is a result of what we feel. And often what we feel is a result of what we think. And most of what we think was given to us. Most of us can't think independently of what we've been taught to believe is true. Most people can't even consciously examine what I've been taught to think causes me to act this way. Most people can't get there, or they're struggling to get there. But everyone knows, without exception, everyone knows it's possible to have a better life. Even that person on the street, and we got a lot of people living on the streets here, I walk by them, and when I ask, why is this allowed to happen? They say, because they believe on some level that change is still possible for them, but they do not know how. They have not been taught effectively on how to know. So they are trapped in their suffering, but all the while holding on to the flicker of hope that they know exists. I love that. I love that when they say that. So we're going to get into questions and answers here because it's really exciting what's happening. Once we learn to regulate our thoughts and emotions consciously, yes, They want me to stress, you must become aware that your thoughts and emotions are internalized resources that you have in the system that you can utilize, reorganize to change the effects of your conditions in your world. Please understand this. Thought is not fixed. Emotion is not fixed. These are dynamic energies, but you may put a square peg in a square hole and say that's what it is. You may say, I am angry and that is what I am, and now you are stuck in that. But you may also say, this is simply energy that I have this word on called anger, that I may change, that I may interact consciously with this energy and change it. And change, therefore, the conditions that are affected in my life. Wow. Thank you, guys. Good morning, everybody. It's been a very interesting few days for us on this dimension. As this dimension is set up, there's so much fear on the planet right now that you have to get very clear on your creative process, your thoughts, and your emotional energy, how to use it. You have to learn to interact with the existing systems in this way, in such a way that you can influence and affect them constructively and positively for the benefit of all. Right? It's so important. We have to learn how to get our thoughts, our emotional energy in such a place of alignment that we know what to think and say and do in such a fashion that we actually affect change in the existing social, political, and individual systems of people around the world. And this is one of the educations I've been getting from my guides and angels over the last 2.5 years. And it's amazing. You are not alone. Wherever you are not alone. Your suffering is not your suffering. Your suffering is an effective energy that you keep inside you that you have not learned how to change or transform or alter. There is nothing wrong with you. Please understand that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's simply, there's an unconscious set of processes that you're not aware of that affect your emotional field and organize emotional experiences, cause events in the world. Once you learn to become aware enough to change thought, reorganize emotion, you begin to create a different life. And for these last couple of years, it's been just a mind-blowing ride for myself and Norma and for the people that have been on this journey with us. So this is it. It's literally, we are in that place as individuals and as a collective that there are certain results that are inevitable in the creative process. It's like if you put your hand on a hot stove, it will burn unless you understand the law. Then you can transcend your conceptions about your hand burning, as I've done in firewalking. Anybody who's done firewalking knows that you move into a state of being that alters the emotional state. It's the emotional energy that you move into that alters the conditions of physiology so that a firewalker can walk across a bed of hot coals because their energy in their body does not allow that substance of fire to affect the body that way. You're literally reorganizing the conditions of matter in your body so that things in the world affect it differently. And people that lie on beds and knives and people that do extraordinary things with their body, they have a conception and an awareness that goes beyond what the norm is. And we have to become superhuman now. When I say superhuman, I mean we have to become beyond what we think we know and what we believe we're feeling as being fixed. Nothing that you feel emotionally keeps you trapped. So let's get into some question and answers about what comes. Consider, and I hope you're thinking about what's being communicated to you today, that what is coming in your life, what is in your life right now, is a direct effect of the combination of thoughts and emotions that you identify as being real or true. But that what you identify as being real or true is amenable to your ability to change them. You can change how you feel. You can change the thoughts in your mind. You literally can. And once you become aware of that process and begin to implement it, you'll start to see changes occurring in the environment around you, right? And we get into a lot of this information during our courses and classes, which by the way, we start Mediumship 101 course starts in 11 more days. And for those of you that are registered, I'm really excited. We'll be working with you, where you don't have to avail yourself. You don't have to try and sort everything out from within the structure of your own mind. Ultimately, that's what you do. But when you tap into guides and angels that are working with you, ascended masters, multidimensional beings, Pleiadians, whatever collectives are working with you, you get knowledge and information that's outside of what you know. And you can do this in this world as well. There are people that have written books that run different shows that communicate information, beings like Eckhart Tolle and Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, many beings that can give you inspiration and ideas outside of what you know. So we have guides and angels in this physical world. We have guides and angels in the non-physical world. And the ones in the non-physical world have made the greatest impact on me in the last couple of years. And the ones in the physical world also made an amazing impact on me in my early years to get me to where I am in my awareness now. So let's get into some Q&A here. Hi, Maria. Hello, Victoria's. Hi, Kira. Hello there. Question from Maria. I feel sort of anxiety right now, but I have an obvious reason for it. I know it's coming from me. Can I get some help understanding why and how to work with it? Oh, I'm so grateful. One of the things, our mediumship courses were downloaded to us by the ascended beings that work with us. My guardian angel, Master Jesus Buddha, downloaded these courses to us. And in one of our courses, there's this process where you learn to interact with your emotions from a deliberate perspective of love, where you actually treat, where you actually treat your emotion from a perspective of love. So the anxiety that you're feeling right now, if you were to close your eyes and feel that anxiety and communicate to it your willingness to love it, even if you do not understand it, you might want to write that phrase down too. I'm willing to love you, even if I do not understand you. And you communicate that thought as like something you're really communicating sincerely to it, you'll feel the energy of the anxiety immediately let go. It shifts. And we have many different methods in our courses for doing this. As you learn to connect to your guides and angels, they'll also offer you inspiration and ideation that you don't normally have access to through these 5 physical senses. Remember, your 5 physical senses are sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, but you have also these non-physical senses: clairvoyance, which is clear seeing; clairaudience, clear hearing; claircognizance, clear knowing; and clairsentience, which is clear feeling. When you open up these non-physical senses, you bring in a dimension of awareness that affects your mind and your body very differently. From that level of awareness, you can affect your mind and body very differently. So that's a great question, Maria, and I hope you apply that simple formula that we were given to give to others to transform that energy of anxiety. You were not born in fear. You were not born in anger. You were not born suffering. You were not born depressed. That is something that you learned from this world. You acquired it. And you have the ability, as the awareness, to make changes in mind and body. But you can't make changes if you believe you are mind and body. This is who I am. I feel this way. If you believe that you're those feelings, you're stuck in them because that's your belief. But when you start to examine the feelings from a different perspective and learn to interact with them differently, your life goes through an amazing change. It's a wondrous thing to experience. Anyway, Maria, if you apply that formula right now, or if anybody applies that simple statement to a negative emotional state, depression, sadness, anxiety, that simple statement: no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I love you, even if I do not understand you. And you apply that simple formula, you'll feel a change. And once you're aware that you can make a change in your emotional field, that's the beginning of freedom from your past. That's when you start to get free from your past. And our goal is to ensure that people can live in the present moment and deliberately and consciously create from a perspective of love, conscious, intelligent love, and playfulness, and joy, and peace, excitement. Great question, Marie. Thank you so much. Maria, pardon me. JC is asking, my nephew is an adult addict. He's single and his parents are in denial. He has stolen and is drug seeking. I'm uncomfortable inviting him over, but I feel guilty excluding him. Any guidance? Absolutely. First thing he needs to do is understand what part of himself needs the love. Because remember, when people resort to experiencing sensation as a means of feeling better, it is only because they do not understand that they are not the sensation. They are the one that generates it. Those who seek to remedy their suffering are attached to their suffering. And so they go into that which creates more suffering in an attempt to remedy their suffering. But the substance will never end the suffering, or the anger, or the fear, or help him to remove that memory from his mind, or the experience of that memory from his mind. This is something he must do. The substance will only hide it from him, but the cost on his body, the cost on his mind is great. He must understand there is a distinction between his body and his emotions and his need. He must understand that his need is not for something out there, but something to be established internally, the vibrational energy of love. He must learn to establish that in his home. In his home means the system in which he resides while he is in this physical dimension. He gets the sensation of pleasure in the body, and that is the closest approximation to what he can feel as love, because he does not know what the feeling of love is as an energy, but he knows what the sensation of pleasure is in the body, and he misunderstands that that is the vibration of love, but that is the closest he can get to it. If he understands that the sensation of love is not the sensation of matter, it's a sensation of energy, and if he's able to bring that down and shown how to bring that energy down into his body repeatedly, the addiction will fade in comparison to the splendidness of his love, the limitless potential of his being from the vibrational understanding of carrying forth the frequency of love. He will understand and have no need for those things of a lesser value. Thank you. Thank you. Question from Mathis. Is there a message from my brother that just passed? Oh, he's saying, I had no idea it would be like this. There's great joy here. It is very different. Yes, thank you. Thank you for calling to me. Thank you for remembering me, that I can remember. I am so grateful. I am so grateful that I remember that I am. I remember that I am. He's wanting to communicate. It's very frustrating because they want to communicate his love to you. Yes, it has to be in the something about something sweet. He's saying there's something sweet. Something sweet. Is this something sweet, like taste sweet? What is it? Something in sweet. I'm not sure if this means there's something in a suite, like an apartment. Something in sweet that you are supposed to acquire. Something in sweet. I thought it was something you taste, but no, he's saying it's something in sweet, something in the space that he was in that you need to acquire from him. Again, I don't know what that, can you tell me what that is? It was something that is close to my heart when I was in my body that I wish for you to have. It is the only way that I think I can physically communicate my love to you now, as I know it is. Cool. But yeah, freedom. He feels a lot more freedom now than he did. It's freedom. Wow, thank you, Mathis. I appreciate that. Yes. Just gotta correct this here. Yeah. It's a lot of people are beginning to wake up. Like, wow. Jana, I don't know why I'm getting a song to give you. The phrase is I don't know if you've ever heard that song, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. He's literally like singing that loud. Like loud. I can feel it. Like he's trying to push that through my voice box with an intensity of energy. Like literally choose happy. Choose to be happy. Your time is to choose to be happy. Do not waste it. Do not waste it. Choose to be happy. Yeah. And he just wants me to repeat that. If you've ever heard that song, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Yes. Focus on these. Yeah. He says, I am content. I am content. I will not be back in form. Yeah. He says, I'm going to another place very far. I'm here for you now. This is interesting a lot of people ask this question, how is it these beings, especially ascended masters, how can they be in Master Jesus, for example? How can Master Jesus connect with so many people simultaneously? And it's because his awareness, his soul, his awareness is not bound to a localized point of time and space. Like in my body right now, I'm localized to this point of time and space, communicating through this form. Master Jesus does not have that restriction, as do all of the ascended masters and most multidimensional beings that are moving through dimensions through awareness. They know they're not bound or localized to time and space. So when you wonder how an individual awareness can be here communicating with you and also be communicating with somebody else, it is because their awareness is not bound. So their awareness is expanded and can be aware of more things that are involved in time and space because their awareness encompasses more. I hope that makes sense to you guys. It's like I'm sitting in this room and all I can see is what's in this room. But if I were to step back or turn around and look out the window, I would see a lot more. I change the perspective of what I'm looking at things from, and I can observe more. So your awareness works like that. Your awareness can expand. You can expand your awareness. You can close your eyes and expand your awareness to fill the space of the room around you. You can do that. And therefore, a master or a multidimensional being can do that. They can move their awareness so Master Jesus can talk to this person in Louisiana. Master Jesus can talk to this person that's in Egypt. They are not bound by the laws of time and space as we understand them. It's very exciting. So yeah, so he's going to this other planetary system. Very interesting. He will not be back on this dimension. Sharon is asking, why do we create negative thoughts out of nowhere? Sharon, thank you for this question. This is a very good question. Negative thoughts do not come out of nowhere. They come out of somewhere. And for most people, those negative thoughts come out of their subconscious mind or from the world around them, television, radio, newspapers, other people's thoughts, opinions, beliefs. All negative thoughts do not come out of nowhere. People that have a negative thought and they're feeling terrible all of a sudden, most of those thoughts where you find yourself feeling like floating anxiety, manic depression, these are states that are happening on an unconscious level. There's emotional currents, thought processes that can get stimulated that go into play, and you're not aware of that. You suddenly get caught up in it. But there's a simple way to begin to differentiate between unconscious thought and emotion and who you are as an awareness. The minute you are aware of a thought, you are not the thought. The minute you're aware of the emotion, you're not the emotion. And it's at that point of awareness that you have choice to change thought and to alter the energy of emotion. It is important you understand this, that you can alter the energy of emotion with how you interact with it. If you get afraid when you feel this anger or angry when you feel this fear, then you will react very specifically. But if you suddenly feel this energy of anger or fear and you're going, I'm willing to love you, and you put a different energy towards it, you change it. Your thoughts do not come from nowhere. They come from somewhere, but you want to get yourself to the place in consciousness where you recognize that thought, I do not want that thought. This thought, I do want, but I will not accept this thought, or it does not serve me. And when you are aware that you have choice over thought, then you begin to have power over your emotion. You begin to have power over your emotion. This is not the immediate ability to choose thoughts, does not give you the immediate change or transformation of your emotional field. That too may take some time. For the intensity of an emotion is determined by how long it has been in your system. And when you change the intensity of the emotion by the way you interact with it, you can change great amounts of anger into joy very quickly if you understand the process of how to interact with your emotion differently than you have been. And again, change only comes through your conscious participation in the process of change. It will not happen of its own accord. You must choose change. As you have chosen to ask this question, you've chosen consciously to find something outside of yourself that you do not know so that you may have it within you to know. And we simply give you answers that allow you to understand the truth from your perspective, not from ours. We're simply giving you information that we understand to be true. And when we give you that information and you identify that as being true for you, it changes you. Your awareness of that, your choice to engage that energy causes the change. But you must make the change. You must become aware of that change. Thank you for that question. It's wonderful. Yes, I understand. Yes. Question from Tanya. Last night I saw the love grid in my inner vision connecting all awakened hearts and surrounding the earth. How can we all strengthen this connection consciously? Well, that again requires choice. One of the reasons you're seeing so many light workers coming out now, so many different groups focusing on love meditations and enveloping humans in love, is transformation on a biological level will happen spontaneously. But transformation on an emotional level in the human realm has to be done consciously. And so in doing that meditation, you are affecting, to a degree, the human collective unconscious and the planetary electrical field. And the more people that are deliberately and consciously doing this, the more change we'll begin to see. And we have a group we have called 1 Billion Strong on Facebook, where we've given a simple meditative process. My guardian angel John gives a simple meditative process for how anyone can consciously begin this process of injecting or altering time and space from a frequency of love. And I encourage you to join the group. It's called 1 Billion Strong. And at the very top of the page, when you get there, you will see a meditation, an introduction to the concept, how it works, why it works, and hopefully you'll apply it. Because once you understand that you can direct emotion from out of your body, you can direct it from your body. So you can put love out. We know this as light workers, right? We know this. Everybody knows this that knows and is aware of energy. But those that do not know are the ones that need to know, which is why there are so many light workers in different groups coming out to share this knowledge and information and practice the practices of meditation, of extending love. But we always have found that anybody that does not know but is seeking to be free from their suffering, when they have come to us, they are quickly free from their suffering. For they come in contact with a vibrational energy that affects them very differently. We know this. We've witnessed it hundreds of times where those come to us. If you go into a cold room, you will feel the temperature around your body. If you go into a warm room, you will feel the temperature around your body. And when those come in contact with us, our energy is a temperature. Our emotional energy that we communicate through this form is a temperature, so to speak, that affects those that come into the proximity of it. So as you are able to intensify the extension of your love, your joy, your happiness, you will alter the climate of energy around you and in others that are in proximity to the range of the extension of your energy. Thank you. Wow. A question from Luz. Can I get a message from Jesus? Wow. Thank you, Luz. Wow. It's funny. As soon as you say that, the first, again, thank you. Okay. He's asking me to tell you to rest in your love's heart. Rest in your love's heart. What do you mean by that? Please, dear one, rest as love in your heart. Rest as love in your heart, and let your heart expand. Let your heart come through your words. Let your heart come through your gestures. Let yourself receive this that I extend to you now. Rest in your love. Rest in your love. Rest in your love. In your heart. Hmm. Um, he's just extending this out to you now. Literally feel that and extend it. When you can feel it, when you can begin to feel that shift, yes, yes, yes. Rest in love in your heart and let that be given to others, for that is what you are, as am I. Mm. You do not have to make great sounds or great gestures to communicate your love, which is my love, which is all love. Mm. Wow. Thank you, Lun. Thank you so much. Oh, hang on. I don't, he's saying something about, yeah. When you meditate, he's saying in your meditation, it is important you make certain that you are aligned. He's literally saying that you have to make certain yeah, that she will open. He's saying you'll open this with proper alignment in her meditation. She'll open this up. Okay. It will give voice to her love. Oh wow. Yes. So also, yeah. So in your meditation, align your spine. It will open your throat chakra so you can give voice to your love. Yeah. He says you like to communicate love to other people, but you need to give more voice to it. Right? And that will open up, you want to open up that throat chakra. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lynn. Wow. Live chat. Wow, here we are already, so fast. Love you guys too. Oh, you're welcome. The understanding that you must get to, it's so important. Yes. What comes is what we are creating individually and collectively. They're saying we don't have time to waste in this world. There is no time to waste in this world. There is no time in your true nature. Time is irrelevant there. But in this world, it is not irrelevant. It is important you understand the relationship that you have in creation and in creating. You must understand this. When we speak of energy, we speak specifically of the substance that you call emotion, that you have given many labels to and have fragmented into many parts, that you call fear and anger, joy, sorrow, peace. It is energy, this substance called emotion, that you may reorchestrate in any fashion, and what comes is wholly dependent upon the nature of how you use your emotional energy. Over this, you must be aware of what you do. For if you operate in the dark without knowing that what you think and feel are affecting the conditions of this material world, then you will, of course, again experience the results of your unawareness, what some might call ignorance or not knowing. For in your not knowing, you can create error and go, oh my gosh, what has happened? But that is no excuse for not becoming aware. But know that what comes, you have choice. You have choice in this. And it is your energy, your emotion, that gives rise to all conditions in your world. It is your emotional energy, which drives all behavior. You might say it's money. It is not the money. You might say it is a politician. It is not a politician. It is the emotional energy that you have used for so many tens of thousands of years, correctly and incorrectly. And each time you use it incorrectly, there is an error in the experience, there is suffering. And when you use it correctly, there is joy and excitement. And you are in this place now again. You do not have a great deal of time in this world under the existing conditions that you've created energetically. But you have all the power available to you to completely transform what is to come. Shall you become conscious of using your energy correctly, consciously, and deliberately? Your peace of mind, your physical vitality, your environment are there to serve you. And you must understand how to do this. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. I've got time for one more question, and then we're going to call it a wondrous day. Skyheart's asking, I question thoughts and emotions all the time. Can get exhausting. Yes, and we understand this. It is not about exhausting yourself. It's simply to identify that you have thoughts that will not serve you and emotions that will not serve you, and then understanding the process that you as the awareness may initiate to change the emotional energy. If you are changing the emotional energy, it will be unnecessary to change all of those thoughts. When you can change the emotional energy, it will be unnecessary to try and change all of those thoughts. For all of those thoughts require certain emotional conditions for them to exist as thoughts that they do. And most of the thoughts that you have aren't even yours. They were acquired through your physical senses. Your focus needs to be on changing the emotional energy. And that change in the emotional energy will cause an instantaneous change in the thought processes that will ensue from it. But again, you must do this consciously. And how many of you interact with your emotions through suppression, through denial, through neglect, does not serve you. It is why many of you need to go into these addictions and self-harming and control and power, is because you have not learned how to manage your emotional energy, because nobody has taught you how to do this. Nobody has taught you how to change your emotional energy, or nobody has taught you that that emotional energy creates the existing conditions, the behaviors. But once you understand this, you are now on the path of freedom. And when you can effect change, you are now the guide that you are seeking. And we will come to you as you call. We will assist you with the knowledge and wisdom that we know is effective in your realm of creation. And if you apply these simple things, you will learn. For you will not learn by having somebody solve a problem for you when you are the infinite intelligence that is capable of that in the first place. But we wish you great love and great joy in this day, and we're grateful that we could come and serve you through this one today. Thank you. Yeah. There are things you're going to need to learn. Your body has to be reattuned. For those of you that are wanting to talk to your guides and angels, come and take our courses. They'll put you in touch with the beings that you need and the knowledge you require. We need to remodel our body. We need to change what we put into it. We need to change how we treat it. We have to change what's going on in our emotional field. We have to change what's going on in our mental field, so that we can become conscious creators in time, space, and matter. And you want to go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Check out our courses and classes there. You can register on the site. Again, there's only 11 days left before we begin, February 13th. The first introduction to the course begins, and all the information is on the website. If you want to support these messages in this channel, you can become a member of my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. And we have special perks for patrons. We do a free monthly draw. We do what we call a 7 at 7, where on the 7th day of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a live event. But we also do one or two other live events that come up when they tell me to We did a healing feeling event last month that was really amazing with Archangel Raphael, where people got to experience their own healing power under the training of Archangel Raphael. So yeah, there's lots of things you can learn. So consider becoming a patron. And I want to thank everybody who used the super chat today. That's another way you can contribute to these messages. So I want to say thank you to everybody for showing up, for sharing your precious time and your energy with us. Much love. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day. You can create it. You can create that. And I will see you on Friday on Super Shortcuts for Your Soul. And have a great day. Bye for now.